So at this point, I've been on well over 200 first dates at this point in time. And I would say I've closed at least 60% of those first dates towards intimacy every single time. So I've mastered the first date game. That's why in today's video, I'm gonna tell you and teach you how you can start closing on the first date more and more often. Obviously, you wanna get to know the girl, you wanna know her personality, but let's be real, you guys wanna get laid. Don't hide it, don't shame it, it's all right. You are dating her because you want to sleep with her and then maybe get to know her, maybe build a relationship. And so with that being said, I believe each date, even if it's not the first date, should progress towards intimacy. Now, me personally, I have a 3-date rule, meaning if it doesn't progress towards intimacy by the 3rd date, then I'm personally cutting my losses. And the reason is because no matter what age the woman is, 25, 32, 40 years old, 22 years old, she has slept with somebody on the first date. And so with my sort of dating strategy and my standards, I'm not gonna be the guy who waits, and neither should you. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so if you wanna start closing on the first date, the #1 thing you must do first is ensure the woman has high interest. She has to have high interest. A woman who has medium interest or low interest is not sleeping with you on the first date. And the reason is you have to spend more time with her. You have to convince her more. She has to see more value in you. And for that reason, it just makes no sense. In fact, back a few years ago, my dating strategy was very, very low effort. In fact, I didn't even run first dates, so women would come over to my place. And one rule that I had was that they had to message me first on dating apps. Now, the reason why I had this rule for myself is because I knew if the woman was to message me first on a dating app, she had the highest interest. I was perfectly her type. The attraction was really high. She liked my pictures, so on and so forth. Now, regardless of what your dating strategy is, you should always be dealing with high interest women. High interest women are gonna make your dating life easier. They're gonna make the first date seamless. They're gonna show up. They're not gonna flake on you. And the likelihood of you actually sleeping with them on the first date is actually really, really high compared to any other type of interest. Now, some ways that you know a woman is really high interest is #1 is gonna be full compliance. She agrees to the time of the date. She shows up on time. She doesn't try to change the date around or try to change what you guys do. She's pretty much down for anything. She just wants to be in your presence. This is the beauty of attracting more and more high interest women, but not only that, attracting high interest women who you're actually attracted to. That's where the beauty lies, because some of you guys right now, you're attracting high interest, but you're not really excited about them. They don't really do much for you. In fact, you don't even want to sleep with them on the first date. So what's the point of that? Now, if you guys do want to start attracting more higher interest women who are not only into you, but actually show up to the date, are actually attractive, actually message you first without flaking, then go ahead and check out the free presentation I made for you. It's called the Romeo Effect. I've been working on the Romeo Effect for 5 years now, and I guarantee this is the only system that can guarantee better online dating results by refining your image, your online personal brand through IG, and your texting skills. I'll show you how this completely works for free. Just click the link down below. All right, so now we know that the woman must be high interest. Now, #2 is the logistical planning. So first, you gotta have your own place. You have to. If you don't have your own place, this makes the process way, way more difficult than what it needs to be. You know, you can't be getting hotels and going in the backseat of the car. I mean, you could, but it requires like a way different skill set and more friction. So ideally, we want our own place. If you're watching this video, more than likely you already do. Now, you need to scope and find logistics near your place so that you can easily pull back to your place after you spend some time with her. Now, the reason why this is so important is because if it's convenient to go back to your place and it's close, then the likelihood of her actually going over there is way more probable. I'll tell you a story. One time I was in DC. I met this Latin chick, nice body, and I remember we went out to some club about 40 minutes away from the hotel I was staying at. The first day went well, but I wanted her to come back to my hotel, of course. And long story short, she actually did end up coming back, but the drive was so long, we pretty much like lost all that momentum and like attraction in which we had on the first date when we were at the club. And that's because like the drive was just way too long. And we were driving in separate cars, keep in mind. And so actually the first dates that I've ran and had a lot of success with, were actually in the same environment of my apartment that I was staying in. So this is where it comes down to even like choosing an apartment location in which you know there are things around you, be it different bars, different restaurants, arcade, mini golf. Like, it helps to live in a very convenient area. And I had the most success whenever I did. So if you are planning your first dates, do remember that logistics are important. Don't pick a place that's too far away from your place, because whenever you do make that pullback, it needs to be seamless and convenient. Now, in order to get laid, you have to go in for the kiss. This is usually how things start going, obviously, right? However, most guys have no idea how to actually initiate that kiss. You don't touch her throughout the whole entire day and then you just randomly expect to lean in for a lunge and kiss her. It doesn't work that way. There's something known as the physical escalation ladder. And this means that your touch over the course of the date from start to finish progresses higher and higher. And so the number 4 thing we need to do is actually do physical escalation leading up to the kiss. Now, the way that I've always done this and the way I love doing this is first starting off with a warm hug whenever you first greet her. This sort of opens up the touch barrier, gets her sort of comfortable with you touching her. Don't do a handshake, don't do nothing weird, just open up with a hug. And then throughout the date itself, this is when you start touching her more and more. So what I like to do is point out some of her jewelry on her rings by actually touching her hand, looking at her jewelry. If she has tattoos, point it out, actually touch her skin or hold her arm. Even if she has an interesting hair color or something, touch her hair. You know, just little things like that over the course of the date. Even when you guys are communicating and discussing, you know, if you laugh, touch her shoulder. If you're trying to emphasize a point, touch her leg. Very, very small things like this don't seem like a big deal, but it adds up over time. But here's the thing, you gotta have some game with it. You can't be too pushy in terms of your physical escalation. You actually gotta know when to pull back. And so I kind of play this push-pull game where I'll touch her. In some cases, I'll even wrap my arm around her whenever we're walking, or wrap my arm around her waist and sort of feel her vibe, see if she's comfortable. If she wraps her arm back around my waist, then I know that I'm in the green. However, if she's acting kind of like shy, or like you get a vibe that she's not fully comfortable, completely back off for like 30 minutes. Like, actually create distance between you guys, and then you'll come back. This is the push-pull technique with physical escalation that can kind of, you know, make it seem like you're not too needy or you're not too eager in terms of advancing things forward. And then I don't recommend that you kiss a woman until you're in a private environment. So meaning that, you know, you guys are maybe in a car or back at your place and whatnot. And then that's when you actually go for the full kiss, which can lead to going to your bed or wherever else. Now, speaking of going back to your place, we're at number 5 now, and that is you need what I call the lead magnet pullback. Now, what is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is better known in business as some sort of free offer that can get leads in for free. So when you're pulling her back to your place by making that call to action or making the invitation, you need a reason for her to go back. You can't just say, hey, wanna come back to my place? Because then it's very clearly obvious that you just want to sleep with her. There has to be a degree of plausible deniability, meaning that it's not necessarily in her face, but it's a possibility. At the end of the day, even if a woman wants to sleep with you, she cannot feel like she's only there to sleep with you. There's something called an anti-slut defense, in which women will sort of back off even if they want to, because they don't want the perception of them being a slut. And so you have to give them a reason. This reason could be anything. My favorite is, hey, listen, if you're comfortable, we can go back to my place. It's actually only 5-10 minutes away. I can get us a bottle of wine. We can listen to some music. Boom. See how the lead magnet was we can listen to music and drink more wine? The lead magnet could be something you discuss on the date, about a movie, about your dog, your pet, your goldfish, your fragrance collection. She's a photographer, talk about like your lens collection. Like, there has to be a reason as to why she's coming back. You can't just make the invitation like, hey, just wanna go back and talk more? Like, no, have a lead magnet in place and you'll notice that they'll be way more interested in going back. This also brings me to another point in which guys don't understand how important game is. So obviously, like our looks, our presentation, we attracted the woman that way, but there's still game needed in that middle of the funnel or that dating process. Like, if you don't know how to work this, you're still not gonna get laid. You're still not gonna get results with women because you have no game. I can't rely on just my looks and just my conversation to actually direct the date in which I want it to go. I have to know all these things, and this is why it's so important. However, if you do follow these 5 things, I promise you, your first dates are gonna start running a lot better, and you will start getting lucky a whole lot more and having those business meetings. Now, once again, if you do want a high interest woman hitting you up first, if you want to totally revamp your online image, your personal brand, and see how the Romeo effect can actually change your life, not only just with women, but with networking, with business, with your career, with your fitness, health, absolutely everything, click the link down below. I made a free presentation for you. Check that out. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace.